Hey my village, it's your coach Mo, and today I am back with a new topic. Today's topic is, do you know your child's learning language? Every child learns differently, and this is especially important to know and understand when we are being our child's teacher. We working from home, we're homeschooling. It's not easy. It is very difficult, but knowing their learning language makes it a lot easier to be able to help teach them so that they can process and retain the information that is being given to them. So one of the learning language is auditory. It's just how it sounds. So audio, anything you hear, you see, the visual part, that's basically like kinesthetic feeling. So auditory learners learn through listening. They have to hear it. I'm sort of an auditory learner. I listen to like audible books and I can retain information, but I also have to write down notes if I want to remember certain parts. But listening to things, I don't have to actually look at it to understand it. So they depend on listening, and they speak as a main way of learning. So these type of kids are good with lectures. The learning environment, how it is now with being homeschooled, listening to your teacher live on Zoom or whatever platform the school chooses to use, they learn good in those type of environments. But if they are like a visual learner, so visual learners learn through seeing and looking. So this kind of environment also is good for them. My son is not that kind of kid. That is not his learning language. You could tell him something 1,000 times, but if he's not able to do it hands-on, he is not going to understand it. He is more of a visual person because he visualize it and picture it in his head. But watching videos and teachers lecture live, you can't keep his attention that way. Another form is kinesthetic learner. They have to touch and do. That's my son's learning language. He is very kinesthetic. He cannot be still. He have to be active in it, do it. He don't like to write notes. For some reason, like he is the kind of kid you give a math problem and he just look in the sky, figure it out. Can't tell you how he got it. Can't write it out on paper. He can't show his work, but he got the answer. But he has to do it. So like, for example, with visual, they take detailed notes rather than get in discussions. So they're pretty much to themselves type of kids. They don't like group work. Excuse me, sorry. They don't like group work. They benefit from illustration. So you gotta like act out something, or you have to show them some examples. And it's good to show them PowerPoint presentations and things like that. Anything with bright colors, something that grabs their attention, works best for a visual learner. Another thing is with auditory. For example, auditory, they enjoy discussions. They're very like talkative. So they enjoy like those group discussions and talking things through and listening to others speak. They acquire knowledge by pretty much reading. They hum a lot. So like if you got that kid that always humming and singing around the house and stuff, that might be their learning language, auditory. They talk to themselves. Your kids are not crazy. I have a kid, like my son, he talks to himself. I was like, who are you talking to? Like he's live in class and he's looking at the computer and he just be talking but don't have his headphones on. And I'm like, who are you talking to? He's like, nobody. And I'm like, kid, you make me worry. Do I need to go get you checked out? But I joke with him about it. But I know he's just talking things out, thinking out loud. If they are, for example, a kinesthetic learner, they need a lot of breaks. My son, like I say 15, 20 minutes, I try to give him a break. Even though his classes are only like 45 minutes long, can I have a break? Can I have a lunch break? Oh, it's this break. Like, he has to have a lot of breaks because he cannot sit there for a long time and like do the live class and then do work right after. No. School is literally a all day process for us, Monday through Friday. But they have to keep moving around. So he'll be in live class and he walk around the house. And I'll be like, babe, why are you walking around the house? Don't you supposed to be in class? He's like, yeah, I just got bored. And I'll be like, oh my gosh. So they speak with their hands like me. I'm a kinesthetic learner. I have to be active, move, things like that. It helps me memorize things. It helps me just understand things a little better. But they speak with their hands and like different gestures. So when you're talking to a kinesthetic learner and you move your hands and things like that, that keeps their attention. It helps them understand what you're saying because then they're actually listening to you because there's movement, there's gestures, things like that. And just remember what was done. They remember what was done, but not how it was done. So they have issues recalling stuff. So if you have a kinesthetic learner like my son, what we try to practice is reading 10 pages in a book, and then he has to recite back what he read in chronological order because I want to make sure he's retaining the information and comprehending what he's reading, because they'll read a lot of stuff and they can't tell you nothing about what happened. So if he tell me what he remembered from what he read and it's all out of order and don't make sense, I'd be like, you got to give it to me in order as though you read it from the beginning to the end, not all mixed around, because I don't understand what you read and what you're talking about. So they learn through pretty much activities. So you have to make everything fun, somewhat like a game for them. Like my son, you only can keep his attention when you make it like a game. If he has to practice for like a spelling test or something, I will put it into like a crossword puzzle. And either he find the word or match the word with the definition, things like that, because that's the way I know he will remember, because his visual memory, he will picture that test or that crossword puzzle in his head. But I'm the same way. That's the only way I got through pharmacy school. When you have to learn the top 200 drugs, for the top 200 most popular medication, you got to know the brand name and the generic and the symptoms, side effects, and what medications you can't take that way. I had studied with tests by doing crossword puzzles. So I would put the brand name, mix it up, generic name, cross and match. I would do it in a puzzle where I got to find the word based on the definition in the puzzle. I had so many studying tricks to be able to retain the information and remember it. Because every time I took a test in class each week about the medications, while I'm taking a test, in my mind, I can see the crossword puzzle with the name and the definition and everything. And I'll keep doing those tests every week, making up my puzzles every day for myself to keep practicing the same puzzle over and over until I remember, okay, this word is the generic for this. But it was the way I stayed the top person in my pharmacy class. So when I went to pharmacy school, I was number one every week. I'm always acing all the tests, and people started studying with me, and I showed them this is how I retain it, and it started working for other people. So see if that worked for your kids. Sometimes we have to think outside of the box in order for them to retain information and learn. My kid put me to the test. Trust me, all the time. Like, I've always been a scholar, straight A student, even in grad school. Like, I never got under a B. I got one more class left. It's finals today, actually. And he puts me to the test, trying to entertain him and make learning fun, because he would cry, be like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. I hate this. When are we going back on campus? And I got to hear all that. But I try to help him understand that it's not always going to go the way you want, but you are able to learn the way you learn. So that's why I started researching. Being that my past 4 years ago, I was a research psychology major, but I started researching ways that I can help him and it helped me as well. So I hope this was really good for you guys and it helps you guys, because I will bring more videos to you like this, and I want to help you guys. As a parent coach, that's my job, helping make your life easier dealing with your kids, and especially with this new role of us homeschooling and being a teacher, an unqualified teacher. I want to make it a little easier, less stressful for you. Until next time, Coach Mo out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment if you want, if this was helpful. All right, until next time.